Your heart is a traitor. Your emotions are weapons pointed at your own chest. Every mistake you've ever made, every opportunity you've ever lost, it wasn't bad luck. It was you feeling. The world does to reward the emotional. It rewards the cold, the calculated, the untouchable. What if you could stop caring? Stop hoping? Stop being distracted by guilt, fear, or desire? What if you could feel nothing and win everything? This isn't team motivation. This is the manual for power. And it begins right now. Every bad decision, every text you shouldn't have sent, every opportunity you let slip through your fingers because you were afraid or anxious or too excited. What was the common denominator? Emotion. You felt. And because you felt, you lost. The world belongs to the cold. It belongs to the surgical. It belongs to the men and women who can look at a disaster and feel absolutely nothing but the urge to calculate the next move. Niccolò Machiavelli, the man who wrote the operating manual for power, did not write about passion. He wrote about virtue, strategic prowess, and he understood a truth that civilized society tries to drug you out of knowing. The person who cares the least controls the most. If you can learn to sever the connection between your reality and your emotional response, you become a ghost. You cannot be hurt. You cannot be manipulated. You cannot be predicted. You enter a state of existence I call the zero state. Most people live their lives at a fever pitch. Up, down, happy, sad, manic, depressed. They are leaves in a hurricane. I am going to teach you how to become the eye of the storm. But this is not for the weak. We are not here to manage your anxiety. We are here to amputate the part of you that bleeds. If you are ready to stop feeling and start conquering, listen, you must understand what you are fighting. You are fighting your own biology. Evolution did not design you to be happy. And it certainly didn't design you to be a CEO, a leader, or a conqueror. It designed you to survive in a tribe of 50 people on the savannah. Your emotions, fear, shame, desire for approval are outdated software. Fear was meant to stop you from being eaten by a lion. Now fear stops you from starting the business. Fear stops you from walking away from a toxic partner. The software is glitching. It is firing alarm bells in a safe room. When you feel a strong emotion, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, strategy, and long-term planning, shuts down, literally. You become stupid. You become an animal reacting to a stimulus. Machiavelli knew this centuries before neuroscience confirmed it. He saw that a prince who ruled by emotion was a prince who would soon be dead. He wrote, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that he who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived." Translate that he is saying that emotional people are simple. They react to present necessities, pain, hunger, lust, fear, and because they react, they are easy to trick. If I can make you angry, I own you. If I can make you crave my validation, I own you. If I can make you feel guilty, I own you. The first step to winning everything is to reclaim ownership of your own neural pathways. You must look at your emotions not as truth, but as noise. Imagine you are a pilot flying a plane through a storm. Your instruments are going haywire. Alarms are screaming, pull up. Danger. The amateur pilot panics. He follows the alarms. He crashes. The master pilot ignores the noise. He looks at the horizon. He trusts the coordinates. He feels nothing. He lands the plane. You are the pilot. Your emotions are the broken instruments. Stop listening to them. This is where we leave the realm of self-help and enter the realm of power. You need to kill hope. I know that sounds wrong. You've been told hope is beautiful. Hope is the thing with feathers. No, hope is a beggar. Hope is the strategy of the powerless. The person who hopes is waiting for the world to give them something. They are waiting for luck. They are waiting for mercy. They are waiting for the right time. Machiavelli despised hope. He believed in fortuna. Luck, yes. But he believed that fortuna was a woman who had to be dominated by force, not waited upon with flowers. When you hope, you abdicate control. You say, I hope this works out. The Machiavellian says, I will engineer this so it cannot fail. Do you see the difference? One is passive, one is aggressive. Think of the last time you were in a bad situation, maybe financial ruin, maybe a breakup. You spent nights hoping it would get better. You prayed, you visualized, and what happened? Nothing. The situation only changed when you got cold. When you looked at the ledger, saw the red ink, and made the brutal cut. When you looked at the relationship, saw the rot, and walked out the door. Action cures fear. Hope prolongs it. You must replace hope with calculation. Feel nothing about the future. Do not fantasize about the victory. Do not dread the defeat. Simply look at the board. Move the pawn. If you lose a piece, do not cry, do not hope for a miracle. Look at the remaining pieces. Move again. This is the zero state. It is a vacuum of expectation. When you expect nothing, you are ready for everything, Machiavelli wrote. A prudent man should always follow in the footsteps of great men and imitate those who have been most outstanding, so that if his own virtue does not reach that height, at least it will have some tinge of it. Great men do not hope. They execute. Start today. Catch yourself saying, I hope. Stop. Rephrase it. I intend. I will. I am doing. Kill the beggar inside you. We are going deeper. This is the part that will make you uncomfortable. Good. Comfort is the enemy of growth. If you want to win, you must excise pity from your heart. Pity is often disguised as empathy, but they are not the same. Empathy is understanding what someone feels. Pity is suffering because they are suffering, and often pity is just arrogance. You look down on someone and feel bad for them. But in the game of power, pity is a fatal leak in the hull of your ship. Machiavelli was brutal on this topic. He analyzed Cesare Borgia, a man who brought order to a lawless region by being absolutely ruthless. He executed criminals publicly. He terrified the population, and the result, peace, stability, prosperity. Machiavelli argued that cruelty wellness is actually a form of compassion. By being hard, you prevent the chaos that hurts everyone. How does this apply to you? You have people in your life right now who are drowning, and you are trying to save them. You are lending them money you don't have. You are listening to their same drama for the 100th time. You are slowing down your own ascent to carry them. Why? Because you feel pity. You feel guilty for winning while they are losing. Stop. You cannot save everyone. And by trying to save the weak, you often drag yourself down to their level. This sounds savage. It is, but look at nature. Does the lion stop to pity the gazelle that is limping? No. The ecosystem depends on the strong being strong. If you are a leader, a parent, or a creator, you owe the world your strength, not your shared weakness. When you feel pity rising, ask yourself, is this emotion helping them solve the problem, or is it just making me feel good about being a savior? Usually it's the latter. Machiavelli advised that it is safer to be feared than loved. Why? Because love is held by a chain of obligation which, men being selfish, is broken whenever it serves their purpose. But fear is maintained by a dread of punishment which never fails. I am not telling you to terrorize your family. I am telling you to stop letting your bleeding heart make your decision. If an employee is toxic, fire them. Do not pity their mortgage. That is their responsibility. If you keep them, you destroy the team. That is your responsibility. If a partner is abusive, leave. Do not pity their trauma. Feel nothing for the excuse. Look only at the result. This is the clarity of the surgeon. The surgeon cuts the flesh to save the body. He does not cry over the blood. He does not hesitate because the patient is in pain. He focuses on the tumor. He removes it. Be the surgeon of your own life. There is a paradox in desire. The more you want something, the more it runs away from you. You've seen this. The guy who is desperate for the girl never gets her. The salesman who needs the commission smells like fear, and the client walks away. Desire creates tension. Tension creates mistakes. To win everything, you must act as if you need nothing. This is weaponized apathy. It is the ability to look at a high-stakes situation, a $1 million deal, a confrontation, a crisis, and internally shrug. It matters, but it doesn't matter to me. When you detach from the outcome, you gain total control over the process. Think of the samurai. The samurai accepts death before the battle begins. He considers himself already dead. If he is already dead, he has no fear. If he has no fear, his movements are perfect. He does not flinch. He strikes with total purity. You must apply the dead man's strategy to your ambition. Walk into the negotiation willing to walk away truly willing, not as a bluff, but because you are so solid in your own value that the loss of the deal means nothing to you. Machiavelli writes about the fox and the lion. The lion uses force. The fox uses traps. The emotional man is neither. He is the rabbit. He runs. He freezes. The apathetic man can be the fox. He can play the game because he isn't afraid of losing chips. Have you ever argued with someone who genuinely didn't care? It's infuriating. It's terrifying. You scream, you cry, you threaten, and they just look at you, calm, blinking. Are you done? They win. They win because your emotional storm crashed against their wall of nothingness and dissolved. This is the power you are building. The next time you face a crisis, try this. Visualize the worst-case scenario. See it happen. See yourself losing the job, the girl, the money. Accept it. Make peace with it. Say to yourself, I am already dead. Then open your eyes and handle the problem. You will find that your hands stop shaking. Your voice drops an octave. Your thinking becomes razor-sharp because you are no longer fighting to survive. You are playing, and the player always beats the victim. Let's address the elephant in the room. You are human. You will feel pain. Machiavelli was not a robot. He was tortured on the rack. He was exiled. He knew suffering, but he did not woe. He intellectualized. He took his pain and he turned it into a book. The prince that has survived for 500 years. When you feel negative emotion, anger, jealousy, betrayal, do not repress it. Repression leads to explosion. Instead, dissect it. Treat your emotions like data. I am feeling anger right now. Interesting. Why? Because he disrespected me. Why does his disrespect matter? Because I am insecure about my status. That is the root. Do you see what happened? You moved from feeling the anger to analyzing the anger. You moved from the limbic system to the prefrontal cortex. The moment you analyze an emotion, it ceases to be an emotion and becomes a thought. And thoughts can be controlled. Emotions cannot. This is the alchemical process of the outlier. The average man gets angry and punches a wall. The Machiavellian gets angry and writes a plan. The average man gets sad and drinks. The Machiavellian gets sad and builds an empire to ensure he never feels that vulnerability again. Fortune is the arbiter of one half of our actions. Machiavelli wrote, but she leaves us to direct the other half. Your emotions are fortune. They are the weather. You cannot stop the rain, but you can build the roof. You can channel the water to power your mill. Use your anger as fuel. Use your fear as a radar for risk. Use your jealousy as a map of what you want. But never, ever let them take the steering wheel. You are the observer. You are the analyst. You are the architect. Feel nothing personally. Use everything strategically. Now, a warning. If you walk around looking like a stone-cold statue, people will hate you. They will fear you, yes, but they will also plot against you. Humans are social animals. They trust warmth. They trust smiles. So, you must learn the art of the mask. Machiavelli is famous for saying, it is necessary to be a great pretender and dissembler. Inside, you are the zero state. You are cold. You are calculating. You are detached. But outside you must be charming. You must be warm. You must nod and laugh and look them in the eye and make them feel special. This is not hypocrisy. This is camouflage. If you show the world your coldness, you become a target. Society tries to destroy anyone who refuses to play the emotional game. They call them psychopaths. They call them cold-hearted. So give them what they want. Give them the performance. When your boss tells a bad joke, laugh. Not because it's funny, but because it buys you favor. When your enemy tries to bait you, smile. Not because you are happy, but because it hides your dagger. The separation between your internal state and your external display is the ultimate measure of control. Can you burn with rage inside, but speak with a voice like velvet? Can you be terrified but stand with the posture of a king? If you can do this, you become unreadable. And if you are unreadable, you are unbeatable. Most people are open books. They wear their hearts on their sleeves, and that is why they are covered in scars. Wear a mask. Keep your heart in a safe. Be a mirror to others. Reflect what they want to see. And behind the mirror, watch them. Study them. This is how you move through the world without friction. You slide past the guards because you look like a friend. You enter the gates because you know the password. And once you are inside, that is when you win. Let's dismantle another lie. Society tells you that selfishness is a sin. They tell you to be selfless, to put others first, to be a martyr. Who tells you this? The people who benefit from your sacrifice. The boss who wants you to work unpaid overtime tells you to be a team player. The partner who refuses to grow tells you to be supportive. The family member who drains your bank account tells you family comes first. They are harvesting you. Machiavelli understood that a prince must be the center of his own universe, not out of vanity but out of necessity. If the sun burns out, the planets die. If you burn out, everyone who relies on you suffers. You must adopt strategic narcissism. This does not mean you are delusional. It means you recognize that you are the most valuable asset you own. Your energy, your mind, your time. These are finite resources. Every time you get emotional over someone else's drama, you are writing a check from your own account to pay for the mistakes. Stop funding them. You must treat your energy like a fortress. The drawbridge is up. Only those who bring value get in. If someone disrespects you, do not feel hurt. Feel nothing. Simply realize this person is a liability, and remove them. This is not cruelty. This is hygiene. You wouldn't let someone dump trash in your living room. Why do you let them dump their insecurities into your mind? Machiavelli wrote, "A wise prince should rely on what is in his own control, not on what is in the control of others. Your worth is in your control. Their opinion is not. When you stop needing the world to applaud you, you become dangerous because you can no longer be bribed. Most men are cheap. They can be bought with a compliment. They can be bought with a smile. They can be bought with the promise of being liked. But the man who values himself above the collective, he is expensive. He is rare. He walks into a room and does not scan for approval. He scans for opportunity. He is not looking for a friend. He is looking for a victory. Be the sun. Burn bright. Let the others orbit you or let them burn up, and never ever dim your light to make them comfortable. We need to talk about silence, but not the weak silence of the monk. I am talking about the predatory silence of the abyss. Machiavelli taught that it is essential to keep your intentions dark. He who wishes to deceive will never fail in finding those who are willing to be deceived. The greatest mistake you make is broadcasting your next move. You get excited. You feel that rush of dopamine. You tell your friend about your business idea. You tell your partner about your plan to confront the boss. You just killed the plan. Why? 2 reasons. First, your brain confuses talking about it with doing it. You get the chemical reward without the work. Your drive evaporates. Second, and more deadly, you gave them a map to stop you. When people know what you want, they know how to hurt you. They know how to block you. They know how to leverage you. You must become a fog. Be vague. Be ambiguous. When they ask, "What are you up to?" you say, "Working on a few things." Smile. Change the subject. When they ask, "Are you mad?" you say, "No, just thinking." Face like stone. Let them project their own fears onto you. If you are silent, they will fill in the blanks. They will think, "He's planning something big. He knows something I don't. He's judging me." Good. Let them spin. In the absence of information, the human mind assumes the worst. It assumes power. Use this. If you are negotiating, do not tell them your bottom line. Do not tell them why you need the deal. Feel nothing. State your terms. Then stop talking. The silence will become heavy. It will press on their chest. They will start to squirm. They will start to bid against themselves just to break the tension. You didn't do anything. You just refused to give them the comfort of your cards. Machiavelli advises us to be the fox. The fox tracks its prey without snapping a twig. Stop announcing your era. Stop posting your grind. Work in the dark. Let the results be the only noise you make. The thunder comes after the lightning strikes. Be the lightning. Here is the price tag. I will not lie to you. If you follow this path, if you kill the hope, the pity, the need for validation, you are going to be lonely. At least that's what the weak will call it. They will look at you standing on the mountain and say, "Look how lonely he is." But you will know it is not loneliness. It is solitude. There is a massive difference. Loneliness is the pain of being alone. Solitude is the glory of being alone. The sheep are never lonely. They are huddled together, warm, smelling each other's fear, moving in a panic. They are safe, yes, but they are sheep. The eagle flies alone. Machiavelli was a man of the court, but he did his greatest work in exile, alone in his study, conversing with the ancients. When you enter the zero state, you lose your tolerance for gossip. You lose your tolerance for small talk. You lose your tolerance for people who complain but never change. You will look around one day and realize your circle has shrunk. Don't panic. This is the shedding of dead weight. You are trading quantity for quality. You are trading noise for signal. In the silence of your solitude, you will hear something you haven't heard in years. Your own voice, your true ambition, your true power. The crowd drowns you out. Solitude amplifies you. Do not fear the empty room. The empty room is where the king sits. The throne is a single seat. It is not a bench. If you want to rule your life, you must get comfortable with the silence of the throne room. Embrace the cold. The cold preserves. Heat rots. The herd is warm, but it is rotting. You are cold, but you are eternal. We arrive at the final transformation, when you feel nothing, no fear, no regret, no envy. What is left? Are you a zombie, a machine? No, you are finally free to love, but not the sticky, needy love of the child. You achieve the Stoic ideal which Machiavelli respected, amore fati, a love of fate. But the Machiavellian twist is this. You love the fate you created. When you are emotional, you are a victim of fate. Why did this happen to me? When you are strategic, you are the master of fate. This happened. Here is how I use it. You stop judging events as good or bad. Those are words for children. There is only useful or useless. You lost the money. Useful. Now you have the hunger to rebuild smarter. She left you. Useful. Now you have the freedom to focus entirely on your mission. You failed. Useful. You just eliminated a method that doesn't work. This is the ultimate immunity. You become anti-fragile. The more the world hits you, the stronger you get. You look at the chaos of the world, the wars, the markets crashing, the betrayals, and you do not feel anxiety. You feel a dark excitement because you know that chaos is a ladder. And while everyone else is crying and looking down, you are climbing. You feel nothing for the tragedy. You feel everything for the opportunity. This is what it means to win everything. It is not just about the money or the status. It is about the unshakable knowledge that you can handle anything. You have the cheat code. You have the manual. While they are playing checkers with their hearts, you are playing chess with your mind, and the king never ever panics. So look at yourself. Who were you at the start of this video? A bundle of nerves? A reactive machine? A victim of your own biology? And who are you now? You are the observer. You are the fox. You are the lion. You have the tools to sever the strings. Imagine walking into your life tomorrow with this operating system. The insult lands and you feel nothing. You smile. You analyze. You win. The crisis hits and you feel nothing. You calculate. You execute. You win. The fear whispers and you hear nothing. You step forward. You win. It is a superpower. It is forbidden knowledge because if everyone had it, society would collapse. Society relies on your fear to sell you insurance, to sell you status, to keep you working. But you have stepped out of the line. You have chosen the cold. And in the cold you have found the fire that actually matters, the will to power. But ask yourself this final question as you turn off this video and the silence of your room returns. Can you actually do it? Or are you addicted to your own suffering? Because for many of you, the pain is a comfort blanket. You love the drama. You love the victimhood. It gives you an excuse to be average. To let go of your emotions is to let go of your excuses. If you feel nothing, you have no reason not to be great. And that is the most terrifying thought of all. Are you ready to lose your excuses, or will you go back to sleep? The choice is yours. But remember, the world does not wait for the sleeper. It eats him. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. There are videos I cannot upload for everyone. There are aspects of dark psychology that I simply cannot discuss publicly on YouTube without being censored or demonetized. The algorithm suppresses the most powerful information. Those exist behind the join button. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want what's hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche. Most won't. That's the point.